And now for our next news special report.
Is America on the brink of a divine shakeup? Well, tonight we dive into jaw-dropping prophecies about Donald Trump's future that will leave you stunned. An assassination attempt, spiritual transformations, and a shocking comeback. It has all been foretold, but there's more. An economic disaster.
Watch Esau try to quote Revelation 13 and say the beast whose deadly wound was healed. But we know what that's talking about.
Believe what is in store for our republic. And just as these prophets foresee a financial storm, wise Americans are already planning. Gold has surpassed 2,400.
So, like everything else, they're calling him the man of steel. Beast whose deadly wound was healed, right? That's what they're going to try to throw you. That's a curve.
Your financial revival.
The beast is Esau.
Share visions that can reshape our republic's destiny. Let's get to the meat of the prophecies. Brandon Biggs shared a vision that's already coming true. He saw a new wave of patriotism sweeping the nation, starting in Michigan and Oklahoma. Listen.
He said there's going to be a new wave of patriotism coming out, and that's whenever I saw Trump, and I saw a red wave coming out of Michigan, and then I saw Oklahoma, and there was embers of people, and they were all on these. They had torches all throughout Oklahoma, and they were raising up these torches that looked like fire, and they were bringing forth a new patriotism upon the nation, and it was coming. It was being birthed, and it just kept spreading like fire all throughout America, all throughout. And then I saw people interceding when I saw him winning the presidency through great, and then I saw him winning the election through the Patriots coming out and voting.
That's right. That's right, folks. A red wave of patriotism spreading like wildfire across America. But here's where it gets intense. Biggs saw Trump winning the presidency, but not without a fight. The battle could drag on into summer, with patriots turning out in force to secure his victory. But there's more. It's not for the faint of heart. These prophets revealed 4 months ago that Trump would face an assassination attempt. Watch.
And I saw Trump rising up, and then I saw an attempt on his life. This bullet flew by his ear, and it came so close to his head that it busted his eardrum. And I saw he fell to his knees during this time frame, and he started worshiping the Lord. He got radically born again during this time frame. I'm talking, people say he's saved now, but he becomes really on fire for Jesus, for what I saw coming.
You heard that right. With stunning accuracy, they foresaw a bullet narrowly missing Trump's head, bursting his eardrum, but instead of breaking him, it brings him to his knees in worship. They're saying that Trump will experience a radical spiritual rebirth, becoming more on fire for Jesus than ever before. Now, you might be thinking, Gary, this sounds far-fetched. But remember, these aren't just random folks off the street. These are respected Christian leaders with a track record of accurate predictions. But wait, there's more. And it's not pretty. These ministers are warning of an economic crash that'll make the Great Depression like a picnic.
Hold on. This is where it gets interesting.
And then I saw him winning the election through the Patriots coming out and voting, and then there will be a great economy crash. I saw they had a great economy plan, a crash, worse than the Great Depression. And the Lord warned me about this. It would be a great dark time. But I saw paddles coming upon America's soil, like a shocking of the soil. And I saw Donald Trump praying in the office of the Oval Office, and he was weeping before the Lord with his hands on his head like this, but he was weeping. And there was ministers and people. I don't know if they were senators or Congress people or whatever. I just saw them pacing and back and forth inside of the White House. I'm sorry, what is the White House? But it's the Oval Office, and they were interceding all inside there, and I could feel the presence of the Lord so strong on this. And then I could see that darkness that was that heaviness upon America with the financial crisis of what I saw coming. It started to lift above the trees, and I saw the blue and the things coming back out, and the green times and the good times coming back again. But the Lord said it would be forth a time of a season of a shaking. And it would be a shaking to awaken. And in this would basically, that he was not done with America. There would be a great revival come, and it's not all doom and gloom. That's what he said. The sky's not falling. If there's a time of, it's like...
So, like everything else, though, Trump is there to give that false hope. But America, Babylon the Great, will go into an economic crash, and it won't be able to get out of it. It'll fall like lightning from heaven, right? Satan is Esau Edom. And the high place of Esau Edom is Babylon the Great. So Satan will fall from heaven, right? You know, Satan is Esau, right? That's the counterpart of Satan. Well, like everything else though, Shalom, first and foremost, I'd like to give all praise to Yahweh, Ba'Hashem, Yahweh Shai, Ba'Hashem, Rakah Kadash. Double honors, the elders and apostles, a great millstone who are teaching this truth and sincerity. And a shout out to the Akims out there in four corners of the earth claiming this truth. Barakah the Yahweh, Barakah the Yahweh Shai, Ba'Hashem, Rakah Kadash, Brakatam. So remember, Project 2025. That is what will come with Trump. While he'll give everybody a false sense of hope, And don't forget, this hoax of pandemic came under Trump. You know, now Trump is just a puppet doing what he's told, right? But nonetheless, though, you know, an economic crash happened, you know, because that was the kickstart of it. But he told you it's like a micro C-hip, didn't he? You know, it's like getting a micro C-hip. What's that? Oh, that's the, you know. Anyhow, aside from that, you know, we have, you know, others that are coming out there. They're going to come out and they're going to say, oh, well, Donald Trump is the Antichrist. Well, he's one of, but there are many Antichrists, as John told us, right? But you got many false prophets. And a lot of people thought that, okay, the president that was going to get shot was Barack Obama, and Barack Obama would be mysteriously healed, right? Because they've always been throwing Revelation 13 out there saying that the beast whose deadly wound was healed is an assassination attempt on a president. So you watch these false prophets come out and try to deceive you into thinking that Donald Trump is the miracles or that he's the Antichrist. It's going to give everybody that false hope. Now, like everything else, yeah, he is a false hope. But there is no such thing as the Antichrist, you know, as Apostle Har puts it. You've watched one too many Damien Omen movies, right? You know, the Antichrist means there are many. The Antichrist himself is a nation. It's a nation of people called the Edomites. But like everything else, so here comes this hoax once again. Biden tests positive for the Chinese virus. The U.S. president will skip public appearance and self-isolate at the home. The White House confirmed U.S. President Joe Biden is experiencing symptoms after contracting Chinese virus and will cancel his planned public appearances in Las Vegas to isolate in Delaware. The White House announced on Wednesday. How convenient. You know, so like everything else, though, he just tested positive. So there's another little sidestep, right? It's hilarious what they'll do, right? PMS NBC Joy Reid compares Biden getting Chinese virus to Trump getting the shot. Joy Reid ridiculously compared Biden to getting the Chinese virus to Trump surviving an assassination attempt, asking, isn't that exactly the same? Well, that's a good one.
The question that I have on that, these two men are both elderly. Donald Trump is an elderly man who, for whatever reason, was given 9 seconds to take a iconic photo op during an active shooter situation. Weird situation. We'll figure that out one day. But his survival of that and bouncing right back and going right to his convention is being conveyed in the media world as a sign of strength. This current president of the United States is 81 years old and has COVID. Should he be fine in a couple of days? Doesn't that convey exactly the same thing? That he's strong enough, older than Trump, to have gotten something that used to really be fatal to people his age. So if he does fine out of it and comes back and is able to do rallies, isn't that exactly the same? I mean, it's not exactly the same. It's not the same incident, but it's an elderly man coming through out of an illness.
It should.
Yeah, like everything else, though, we know that this shit show of an election continues on, right? It's hilarious. Schumer says, best for Biden, drop out of the race, says, president tests positive for the Chinese virus. So I guess, fuck Schumer says that.
Are you confident that President Biden has what it takes to win in November and serve the next 4 years?
As I've said before, I'm with Joe.
Senator
Yes.
based on differences of opinion as part of the president, his ability to serve, that there might be a challenge or a convention. If there is there the ability to throw out the virtual nomination?
As I've said before, I'm with Joe.
Senator Murray, who just left, made a statement last night saying that she believes that Biden needs to do more to demonstrate that he's strong enough to defeat Donald Trump, articulate a vision, and must seriously consider the best way to preserve his legacy. Do you agree with her sentiment?
As I've said before, I'm with Joe.
Senator Schumer.
Wait a minute, he didn't say the things that they said before, right? He declines that he's with Joe, right? Schumer says best for Biden to drop out of race as president tests positive for Chinese virus. Well, that's not what he said there, you know. Well, either way, though, nonetheless, though, it's just it's a joke. It's just a shit show. We can see right through that, but how many others, right? Appeals court lifts Trump gag order filed in New York fraud case. While case under review, Trump was gagged last month by judge. In staying the order, Trump can now freely comment about the court, and it's, so like everything else, though. New York appeals on court judge on Thursday temporarily lifted gag order preventing former president from commenting on court staffers in his civil fraud trial. So, more, as you would say, hilarious shit. Now, like everything else, though, Richie from Boston, well, he'll talk about the sun being a weapon, aka direct energy weapons, and like, everything else, though, he knows that this is an Illuminati card. He sees the Illuminati card for what it is.
Okay, so I can't upload from the road. I did a video, a 2-part video on jailbreak on Imogene Pass, an off-road trail at the very top of the mountains, top of the world in Colorado, and I had to upload it. So I had to get a hotel room. This is a cheap hotel room, but the internet is awesome because I sat in the parking lot with a little investigative unit to see how good their internet was. So the rooms suck, but the internet's awesome. So here I am. And I just did a 20-minute video, and the entire time my microphone didn't work, which is just awesome. So here we go again.
Oh, that's a little bit old, that chart. That chart's a couple of months old, and if you want to really see something that said, take a look at what happened. Oh.
So it's no doubt this was a staged event.
Okay, what was wrong with that picture? Let's take a look at that again. Let's take a look at that again. And pay attention to the people sitting behind here. All the people sitting behind here, okay? Because someone's shooting directly at them, all of them. And yet, this is their reaction. Let's take a look. Oh, Trump's talking. Let's all look over that direction. Let's look around. Oh, a mosquito bite or something? Let's get down. Oop, oop, oop. When on earth ever have people not absolutely stampeded? Oh, someone's shooting? Where is he? Let's stand up nice and tall so they can all see us. Who's shooting at us? It doesn't work like that. It doesn't work like that. It doesn't work like that. Trump is repeatedly saying, let me get my shoes, let me get my shoes, let me get my shoes. And then he stands up and says, fight, 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 3 times. Okay, in the real world, President of the United States is a very controversial president too, dividing the country, is at a rally, he's standing there, somebody's shooting, the gun's pointed at you, and it's a rifle, so it's loud. They're shooting at you, yet nobody panics, nobody freaks out. The Secret Service would never say, oh, Mr. President, get your shoes. Oh, you dropped $1 there, grab that. No, they would bundle him up and get him right out of there, and that did not happen. Oh, look, did I just get shot? Did a sniper just shoot me? Secondly, you're doing a rally like that with the president within 500 yards of that, the epicenter, wherever he is, 500 yards around, okay? This isn't my guess, I'm telling you. Secret Service, SWAT, SBT, State Police, any place that could be used to set up a rifle, they would already be there. Now, according to witnesses, they were telling the Secret Service and the police for 3 to 4 minutes that there's a guy right there with a rifle on the roof laying in a prone position. It's all a setup. It's all a complete and utter setup. And it's just strange that it happens to be the only reason the movie Civil War made no sense at all, except for the fact that Americans, one state somehow takes over the entire country, makes it to the White House. Their only objective, the only story, the only moral in this entire movie is the country is in disarray. We all have to quickly get to the White House and shoot the president. That's the only thing. If there's a message in this movie, that's all it was: shoot and kill the president. And when I watched the movie and told you about it, that was my only conclusion. I said they're going to shoot either Trump or Biden. Turns out shooting Trump makes more sense because Biden's people are all pussies. You know what I mean? Trump's people are all angry, but I still don't see anything happening. But they don't need Trump's people to do anything because they'll just dress up like Trump's people and start it. They're going to do this. This is what this is. How many coincidences, how many predictions have to come true before you figure this out? I'm not saying this to you directly, but I'm saying to people in general. Because it's astonishing to me that even people I know that are mainstream media people are like, something's not right about that entire shooting. Nothing's right about that entire shooting. The only thing that's right about it is this. Pretty straightforward, and it says right on it, at any time, any place, our snipers can take you out. Have a nice day. And I find it strange that the little diamond right here is exactly where Donald allegedly got shot, even though it looked like he was simply swatting a mosquito. You know what I'm saying? somebody fires a rifle at you from in front of you, even from a sniper position, that's the loudest point. The gun is the loudest when the end of the barrel is pointed at your face. And when that bullet whizzes by, Trump wouldn't have slightly touched his ear. He would have been like, what the, you know what I mean? It would have been like the biggest dragonfly ever touching your ear and making that noise as it goes by. You see what I'm saying? You're catching what I'm putting down, you're following? It's all a trick. And now, all of a sudden, the Wall Street, it's all the same. Wall Street is freaking out. Everything is great now because Trump almost got shot. It's guaranteed he's going to be the president. There will be no more president. Whatever happens to Trump, whatever happens to Biden, it doesn't matter because this guy is actually the president. And some of their aides have actually made the mistake and said the same thing.
Looks like Obama. More Obama's the Antichrist stuff, isn't it? You see what I'm saying?
His name is Scar, and this is very trying to make a scar. And actually, and he was the.
Now, I covered this video years ago when it was new because Obama walks into a pyramid and then there's a hieroglyphic and the little dude on the wall looks exactly like him. I mean, what are the odds? Remember what I told you? Apparently, there's only one civilization in history ever that could take a dead body and preserve it in such a way that if someone found it 2,000, 2,500 years later, the DNA would still be viable.
Now, like everything else, though, we definitely believe that he was an Akhenaten years ago, etc., right? But Obama is not the Antichrist. Trump is not the Antichrist, you know, just to diffuse that, because false prophets are going to come out and say that, so don't get distracted too much with this. But it is all a trick, it's all a hoax, and hey, you know, people are going to be in for that ride. Different Donald Trump beams as rivals become converts. You know, they're converting to what? Christianity again? You know, all of a sudden, or they're just swinging to the Republican side, you know, because he miraculously survived this, right? It's all a show. Republicans always seem to come here, some sooner than others. Vic Ramsey never ran against him. Ron DeSantis threw his weight behind him within an hour of dropping out of the primary. But Nikki Haley, the last woman standing, she took her time. The endorsement took 3 full months to arrive. Donald Trump didn't mind. So, like everything else, so, you know, it's all made to look like. You know, and they'll call it a miracle, you know, made to look like. Secret Service chief confesses to leaving rooftop wide open for shooter. You know, so now you got even more breaking news, right? So we got this here as well.
When you saw the events unfold on Saturday?
Shock, and then concern, obviously, for the former president.
Investigators now trying to determine whether roof access had been properly locked down. The shooter climbing up seemingly unimpeded, about 400 feet from the stage.
It's no coincidence. This event was meant to happen like the cards show.
Secure, period.
That building in particular has a sloped roof at its highest point. And so, you know, there's a safety factor that would be considered there, that we wouldn't want to put somebody up on a sloped roof. And so, you know, the decision was made to secure the building from inside.
So, the whole point and all that is just many false prophets shall rise and deceive many, right? That's something that Yahushua warned us about, right? You know, so I got one more here, and like everything else, so they're going to tell you, oh, look, Trump has good relationship with Vladimir Putin. Here they are shaking hands, right? You know, to give you the illusion that,
J.D. Vance has now been confirmed as the Republican nominee for vice president. In his acceptance speech at the party's national convention, he slammed Joe Biden, China, and Wall Street, but avoided mentioning the Ukraine conflict, despite having been pretty outspoken on his opposition to further aid to Kiev previously. Well, joining us from the RNC venue in Milwaukee is Bruce Marks, former member of the Pennsylvania State Senate. We appreciate your time today, Mr. Marks. Just firstly, this week's convention began, of course, with the backdrop of the failed assassination attempt on Donald Trump just days before. So how is that, I'm interested, how has that left the atmosphere there?
The atmosphere is electrified, the atmosphere here in Milwaukee. people think, but for the grace of God, that Donald Trump survived the attempted assassination. There were obviously serious problems with security around it that allowed the shooter to get so close to him. But the amount of energy and for Donald Trump and the gratitude that he was able to survive that was just amazing. You talk about feeling energy in a crowd, and sometimes that seems like you're exaggerating, but
it's work. Hook, line, and sinker,
it's
right?
Just amazing. There's just
Project 2025 is going to commence.
To support Donald Trump, and
a lot of people don't even know what Project 2025 is, but we're not deceived by it.
Yeah, why was he chosen? Why did Donald Trump plump for J.D. Vance as his running mate, in your opinion?
Well, it's only my opinion because I wasn't in the room when he decided it. But I think that there are two reasons. One is that, let's not forget, J.D. Vance was not a Trump fan in 2016. He became convinced to support Donald Trump because of his tremendous achievements as president. So one reason is that J.D. Vance is what we call a MAGA, Make America Great Republican. He has completely endorsed the Trump agenda, and I think that Donald Trump wanted somebody who supported his agenda. I think the second reason is that J.D. Vance, because he's like me, I'm from West Virginia, he's from Southern Ohio, we're from what's called Appalachia. It's poor areas of the country. J.D. Vance is somebody who came up from nothing. He came up from poverty. I can't say that was my background. And we have some very key states, Pennsylvania, which is next to Ohio, Wisconsin, Michigan, and I think that President Trump believes that J.D. Vance will be a tremendous addition to the ticket there.
Well, he's certainly laying out his working class credentials, isn't he? He and his wife, attempting to appeal to, as you're laying out, his people in Appalachia. But you've also got Joe Biden doing that too. He said he's sick of billionaires like Elon Musk trying to buy elections. So, the working class vote appears to be front and center in this election. How are these messages, these essentially the same on both sides, how are they going to resonate with Americans?
Well, I just want to add one other thing. The third reason, and probably the most important reason that Trump chose J.D. Vance, is that he thought that he would be, if there was a need, that he would be a capable and successor president. And I think that he sees also J.D. Vance, because of his age, he's only 39, that he will continue this Trump movement after Trump finishes his second term. Listen, J.D. Vance is a working class, somebody who came up from from poverty and became.
Yeah, that's what they'll sell you. But nonetheless, though, we're not deceived by this. We know what Project 2025 is, and that's what's hidden behind that. Oh, look at this. U.S. military officially ends mission of controversial pier off Gaza's coast. Well, it just is an ultimate failure, is what it tells you. U.S. military officially declared end to the mission of a floating pier off the coast of the Gaza Strip. I guess that ISIS, Israeli secret intelligence services, really didn't need the U.S. for that part of it, because they could just do their onslaught against Gaza anyways. That was apparently used to facilitate Israeli massacre instead of delivering aid. Oh, no shit! Wow. President Biden announced back in March the construction of the $230 million pier that involved 1,000 U.S. terrorists. However, bad weather delayed the initial installment of the maritime corridor, and then late May broke it apart. Since then, the U.S. terrorists have detached the pier and moved it to the port of Ashdod. See how it said that a bastard be dwelling in Ashdod? Even they're using the term Ashdod. So it's no doubt that they know that they're bastards. Meanwhile, reports said it facilitated the Israeli massacre against the Nusrat refugee camp in central Gaza that killed at least 274 people and wounded nearly 700 others on June 8th. Of course, the U.S. is always going to have its fingerprints all over everything. Well, it did what it was supposed to do. It was made to look like it was aid, but it was sending support to ISIS, Israeli Secret Intelligence Services, or IDF, whatever they want to fucking call it. It's all Israeli state. Israeli state issues instant Lebanon offensive threat. Exchanges of fire between the IDF and Hezbollah have increased along the border. Israeli defense minister threatened Hezbollah with a potential ground invasion of Lebanon that would be quick, surprising, and sharp. As the Israeli terrorists and the Lebanese armed group continue to trade fire across the border, media reported on Wednesday. So, they're continuing with their threats against Hezbollah. The least the flock, right? Thousands of Israeli terrorists seek shelter at Hezbollah as Hezbollah fires missile on the barrage. Tens of thousands of Israeli terrorist settlers in the northern part of the occupied territory seek refuge in shelters to escape the missiles that the Lebanese resistance group rained down on the area. Israeli media on Thursday said that 60,000 panic-stricken terrorists rushed to the shelters after Hezbollah struck Miran, Nasrallah, and other settlements in the occupied territories. A total of 80 rockets were fired by Hezbollah in retaliation for the recent Israeli terrorist strikes on southern Lebanon, in which 3 Syrian children lost their lives. So, like everything else though, Hezbollah has shown that they're capable of fighting back. Top Lebanese resistance commander killed in an Israeli drone strike. So we'll play that. There it is. You can see clearly that they did hit that vehicle. You know, these cowards that sit behind a joystick, you know. They don't really have to fight front lines. The leader of the Lebanese-based Islamic group, also commander of the Palestinian resistance movement, has been assassinated in the Israeli drone strike in eastern Lebanon. So, you know, this is what he looked like. Either way, though, you know, the least of the flock, throwing everybody into this war, right? So this should be exciting, right? Because we know we're near the end of Babylon. Jeremiah chapter 49 and verse 20. Surely the least of the flock shall draw them out. Surely he shall make their habitations desolate with them. And as that video yesterday went into, you know, the noise of their fall and the noise thereof was heard in the Red Sea. Well, just think about how loud the missiles are going to be when they hit the ground. That's going to damage a lot of ears, especially those on this side, but it's going to be heard all the way in the Red Sea. So this is exciting. Nuclear destruction is coming to Babylon the Great. You know, so we should be excited about this, and we should definitely pray for this. And pray that the Most High have mercy upon us, that we don't get caught in this lake of fire. Because remember, these terrorists, these Edomites, and the wicked in general, especially those that took the number of his name, that took the mark of his name, are going to be caught up in it too. As well as just the wicked in general, the wicked 2/3, etc. We pray we be spared from that, because they're going to be cast alive in that lake of fire, you know, which is going to burn a very long time. So hopefully this has been edifying. For that I will say, Braka the Yahweh, Braka the Yahweh Shai, Ba'ashem Rakakadash, Wa Abab Babal. Brakathum to your hopeful elect. Shalom.